don't care about Arab children. You are a Jew hater, defined as someone who only wants to lie and say that the Jews are genocidaires. And don't try to cancel me and say...
Oh, God. He's like a script. It's incredible how much Pepe we've got from this this insane debate, right? We've got Cenk, the ex-Armenian Genocide denier. We got both of them agreeing to the fact that the Dresden bombings killing 70% of the population. Wow. This one, I don't think I watched this one because it was just Cenk on his own, wasn't it? It was every fucking Cenk face. Oh God, let's go. Let's go with the rabbi. Let's go.
Pope made an urgent plea to stop the conflict, saying, I pray to you to stop in the name of God, cease the fire. So with so much bloodshed, is it time for a ceasefire? Joining me now to discuss this, America's rabbi and best-selling author, Rabbi Shmuley Batayak, and welcome back to Young Turks, Democratic presidential challenger, Cenk Uygur. Well, welcome to both of you. Cenk, let me start with you.
The Unchained.
Many people are calling for a ceasefire. Queen Rania of Jordan, Angelina Jolie, Arab leaders, and so on. I presume you would agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they've murdered enough Palestinian civilians. And even Netanyahu, in an interview with ABC News, said, now that we're on the ground, we're finally pressuring Hamas on hostages. Oh, so the 7,000 bombs you dropped were totally useless and collective punishment, and your attempt to murder civilians on purpose as some sort of sick vengeance. So please stop the murders, ceasefire right now.
Rabbi Shmuley, your response?
Cenk is polling in the Democratic presidential primaries at 0%. Nothing. He has a greater likelihood of being elected the new king of France.
Oh, come on.
And don't interrupt me, please. And the reason is that the American people are decent. They understand that Cenk's anti-Semitism, which he has voiced on your show repeatedly, calling Jews genocidaires, and this is the eve of Kristallnacht, the 85th anniversary of the start of the Holocaust. He would deny the Jewish people the only dignity left to us, that we were victims of genocide, and he would say that we are the Nazis, we are the Gestapo, for simply wanting to defend ourselves against the brutality and the savagery of Hamas. Cenk, you'll have your turn. Just show some decency. If you're not going to show it to my people, show it to me and show it to the viewers of the show. But who is surprised that a man? Who is surprised that a man the name of whose podcast is Young Turks, who perpetrated the Armenian Genocide? The Young Turks is like calling your podcast the Young Nazis, the Young Gestapo. They killed 1.5 to 2.
Turkey's also a nation, you fucking idiot. It's like, what? Oh, wait. What? Am I missing something here? Was the Young Turks like the name of the people who carried out the Armenian Genocide, or what? The Young Turks were the party that did it. Oh, God. Oh, wait, that's bad. I didn't know that. What the fuck? Why did they call themselves that? Why do I not know? Holy shit. Why do they call themselves that? It's also a general term for political activism. And Anna is Armenian. It's not the best idea, but fuck. The Young Turks, crime against humanity. Why would you make a channel with that name, knowing that this can come up in Google and shit? Oh, God. Wow. Yeah, you learn something new every day.
1915 and 1918, The Armenian community has begged Cenk to change the name of his show. For the first half of his life, he was a complete Armenian genocide denier. Then he changed. Now he is a Holocaust denier because he is saying that the Jews are engaged in a genocide of the Palestinians. Now, which nation? How can there be 1.8 million?
I know I've heard it a million times, people saying that Cenk denied the fucking Armenian genocide. Is there any actual evidence of that? Like, what are people referring to when they say that? Didn't the British refuse to accept it for a long time? Okay, anyway, come on. Someone can show me that, because I haven't seen I've only seen people say it in chat. He wrote an article. He acknowledges it. Okay. Jesus Christ. Wow. Ouch.
Really?
Muslim Arab citizens.
Rabbi Shrumi,
okay.
I'm going to go to Cenk. You said some very strong things about Cenk. You can now respond, Cenk.
Yeah, you should never have this guy on air. Everything he said is a lie. I don't deny the Holocaust. That's insanity. And in terms of the Armenian genocide, there is a powerful analogy there. Why was it a genocide? And yes, it was a genocide. Why? Because they moved and displaced so many people and killed civilians on the way. What is Israel doing? Moving and displacing millions of people and killing innocent civilians. It is the exact definition of a genocide. So I think the Jewish people are an amazing people, and their culture is beautiful. And I don't.
What percentage of Armenians was it who died in the marches? Those death marches? I always forget. But it was like, it was a pretty high number, wasn't it? In some places, around 99% of the Armenians deported to Erzurum did not reach their destination. It was like millions of people who died here, wasn't it? Over 1 million. Ugh. Yeah, but how many people were marched? Armenian. That was like 1915, right? World War One. No, I don't want the wiki. I want let's say, the Holocaust Encyclopedia. This is when people tried to, again, like, it's so. So, there were approximately 1.5 million Armenians living in multi-ethnic Ottoman Empire in 1915. At least 664,000 and possibly as many as 1.2 million died during the genocide, either in massacres and individual killings or from systematic ill-treatment, exposure, and starvation. Say yes with a sub, thank you very much. The origin of the term genocide and its codification in international law have their roots in the mass murder of Armenians in 1915 to 16. Lemkin, the coiner of the word and later its champion at the United Nations, repeatedly stated that early exposure to newspaper stories about Ottoman crimes against Armenians was key to his beliefs about the need for legal protection of groups, a core element in the UN Genocide Convention in 1948. Ottoman authorities, supported by auxiliary troops and at times by civilians, perpetrated most of the persecution and mass killing. The Ottoman government, controlled by the Committee of Union and Progress, CUP, also called the Young Turks, aimed to solidify Muslim Turkish dominance in the regions of central and eastern Anatolia by eliminating the sizable Armenian presence there. Mass atrocities and genocide are often perpetrated within the context of war. The destruction of the Armenians was closely linked to the events of World War I. Fearing that an invading enemy troop would induce Armenians to join them, in the spring of 1915, the Ottoman government began the deportation of the Armenian population from its northeastern border regions. In the months that followed, the Ottomans expanded deportations from almost all provinces regardless of distance from combat zones. The victims of the Armenian genocide included people killed in local massacres that began in spring 1915, others who died during deportations under conditions of starvation, dehydration, exposure, and disease, and Armenians who died in or en route to the desert regions of the Southern Empire. And wasn't this intentional as well? They sent them on such a long distance with a very limited amount of supplies that the idea was to kill them. Like, the idea was for them to die. Like, it was a death march. It wasn't a deportation. It was like an intentional death march. Is that not true? That's how I understood it.
Tolerate any anti-Semitism. But I think that the occupation is decaying the moral core of Israel. How long are you going to oppress these people?
They deported people into the Black Sea and threw them off the boats. Wow.
But Cenk,
And I know this guy, all he wants to do is an ad hominem attack. He's a liar. And you could tell exactly what kind of indecent human being he is. But the main reason he's doing it is to avoid the topic. When are you going to stop murdering Palestinians and cheerleading it?
Okay.
If you're talking about genocide, you're the one right now doing the genocide.
May I respond? May I respond?
yes.
Go ahead, more live.
This is Cenk's article from 1991. I don't really know how I feel about holding someone to account for something that he wrote like when I was born, but like in the same year I was born. After I was born, not too long. He said it was the false Armenian propaganda in America. Propaganda. All of this propaganda was not to persuade the British to arrest the top 300 Ottoman officials after the war on the charges of genocide. Armenians claimed that there was another genocide in this century. They claimed that the Turkish government between the years of 1915 and 23 carried out a genocide of the Armenian people. They claimed that the truth of this matter is also beyond reproach. Every year in the Armenian Club takes out a full-page ad in the Daily Pennsylvanian making its claims of a genocide. Then they try to block a similar ad showing the other side, claiming that their version of history cannot be questioned. Well, I question it. The claims of an Armenian genocide are not based on historical fact. Ooh. Ooh. You know, I used to believe a lot of dumb shit when I was in my 20s. A lot of dumb shit. I don't think I ever denied any genocides, though. I feel like I skipped that bullet, you know, that rite of passage. But still, okay, I'm not going to fucking... And he, formally retracted this claim in, like 2017 or something? So it's quite a while ago. Okay.
Nice. Go.
Not even about the kulaks.
You know, I've spent my life debating people. Whenever someone starts using personal names and screaming like a lunatic, they're losing the debate. Let me remain
You're the one who
the Palestinians were offered a state in 1936 in the Peel Commission. They rejected it. They were offered a state in 1947, the UN Partition Plan. They rejected it. They were offered a state in 1967 after Israel conquered Judea and Samaria and the West Bank. They rejected it. They were offered a state in 2000, Yasser Arafat, Ehud Barak. They rejected it. They were offered a state with Ehud Olmert, 2008. They rejected
Napkin Accords. Whoop. The Peel Commission was the one that was rejected by the Arabs, but I think the Zionists rejected it as well, didn't they? Need to go back to this. The Zionist leadership was bitterly divided over the plan. In a resolution adopted the 37 Zionist Congress, the delegates rejected the specific partition plan, yet the principle of partition is generally thought to have been accepted, but not rejected outright by any major faction. Delegates empowered the leadership to pursue further negotiations. Okay. According to Benny Morris, Ben-Gurion and Weizmann saw it as a stepping stone to some further expansion and the eventual takeover of the whole of Palestine. Was this the Peel Commission map, this little one here?
Rejected it. Israel unilaterally withdrew from Gaza in 2005, and they did not create a state. In fact, where were you, Cenk, when you say that you care about Palestinians?
They couldn't. I hate the Gaza pullout one. Like, they couldn't create a state. The point wasn't for them to make a state. You think Israel would have recognized a state in Gaza, even if it was like peaceful and shit? No, they kept control over the border. Like, even before Hamas got elected. I don't know. The point, like, I don't think they knew that. They knew that Hamas were popular in Gaza. There was no intention to let a state come up there with Hamas being there. Like, yeah.
Children, when Hamas stole the highest rate of per capita international foreign aid, larger than the Marshall Plan, from Palestinian children, did not build schools for them, did not build hospitals, took all the money to buy bombs and to build a network of tunnels, which is larger than the New York subway system. Where were you then? Why did you only come up now? In fact, when Bashar al-Assad killed 600,000 children, Arab children, when he gassed them with mustard gas, my organization took out full-page New York Times. ads to protect them from sarin gas. Where were you then? You don't care about Arab children. You are a Jew hater, defined as someone who only wants to lie and say that the Jews are genocidaires. And don't try to cancel me and say
Oh god. He's like a script. He doesn't even sound like a real person. Cenk is so yeah, he's like a wrestler fucking, he's like a wrestling promo.
That I shouldn't be on. You're not a producer of this show. Because you are ignorant of the facts and ignorant of the history does not mean that you can cancel my voice.
Cenk, your response.
Okay, so first of all, this guy is a full-blown bigot. He's one of the most racist people I have ever seen, does not value Palestinian lives at all. And everything he said about me is 100% untrue. I was vicious in my criticism of Bashar al-Assad. I have criticized Hamas over and over again, and I think what they did in the attack against Israel was reprehensible. But for God's sake, how long are you going to occupy these people? For me, the idea of Israelis and Palestinians or Muslims or Jews being different is absurd. Those are just stupid labels that we put on people. They're all human beings. I value the Israeli life just as much as I value the Palestinian life. We're all human. Stop using these nonsense labels
Cenk, let me ask you a
kill
question.
each other.
Cenk,
and all this guy wants to do is more murder of Palestinians.
Cenk, let me ask
when are you going to let them go?
Cenk, let me ask you a question. You mentioned genocide there.
Let's go.
What Hamas is actually in its charter dedicated to doing is the purest personification of genocide. Well, it is. They want to see the eradication of Israel.
Yeah, you don't need to roll your eyes. It looks so bad. Like, yeah, fuck. You can just accept it and then move on. And then people let you talk about Israel as much as you fucking want. Yeah.
And they proved on October the 7th they will kill as many Jews as they can possibly get their hands on. So that is pure genocide. What Israel is doing in return, I don't think meets the category of genocide.
Oh, no.
Right? Because they don't want to get rid of every Palestinian. They don't want to kill every Palestinian.
They
want to kill every Hamas terrorist. Now,
Piers is having a Lonerebox moment. Oh, no.
There are legitimate question marks about how they're going about this and about the civilian casualties. But there is a moral distinction between what Hamas is dedicated to doing and what Israel is dedicated to doing, isn't there?
No, first of all, Hamas is a bunch of idiots. They should take that stuff out of their charter. All it does is hurt the Palestinian cause.
I agree.
There's no call for it. It's dumb and it's immoral. But Hamas claims that they would like to do these things, and from time to time they do these attacks that are horrible and they should never do. But Israel actually kills Palestinians, actually occupies Palestine, actually denies the Palestinians a state. So there's this absurd talk of like, oh, if Hamas was super powerful, they might deny Israel its existence. Except Israel does exist. And the Palestinian state does not exist because Israel is blocking their state. So stop using, and I'm not saying it to you, Piers, but this propaganda, hold on.
You know, Cenk,
He's not really focused on a particular point here, is he?
You and I, Cenk, you and I are almost the same age, and I'm actually quite worried for how upset you get on TV. You got to protect your health. You're just kind of losing it. Now, calm down.
Because I'm upset that you keep advocating
when
for
you
the
keep
murder
on
of
saying,
civilians.
Cenk, you have
like
to stop yelling. You have to stop screaming, and you need to know the facts. The Palestinians were offered a state 7 times, and they rejected it 7 times. Bill Clinton told Yasser Arafat in 2000, you have made me a failure as president because Israel was giving you 97% of Judea and Samaria and the old city of Jerusalem. And Ehud Barak even offered the Temple Mount, the holiest site in Judaism, and the Palestinians rejected it.
Whoa. Let's go back there. That's not Camp David he's referring to. What the fuck?
Let's be clear.
You keep advocating
when
for
you
the
keep
murder
on
of
saying,
civilians.
Cenk, you have
like
to stop yelling, you have to stop screaming, and you need to know the facts. The Palestinians were offered a state 7 times, and they rejected it 7 times. Bill Clinton told Yasser Arafat in 2000, you have made me a failure as president because Israel was giving you 97% of Judea and Samaria.
It wasn't 97%. I think it was up to 95, and that was after quite a lot of pushing from the starting point of 92 or something, because there was one of the problems was that Palestinians and Israelis had different definitions of the West Bank and the borders. And he's not going to mention the non-contiguous West Bank as well. Borders, Camp David. I think the problem was that the Israeli final offer looked like this, right? Had quite a lot of cleaving going on. That was one problem anyway. So that bit's not really accurate. Okay.
And the old city of Jerusalem, and Ehud Barak even offered the Temple Mount, the holiest site in
This, I don't think, let's say that again.
Judaism. And Ehud Barak even offered the Temple Mount, the holiest site in Judaism, and the Palestinians rejected it. You simply...
I don't think they offered, it wasn't full sovereignty of the Temple Mount, was it? It was custodianship. What would that exactly mean? It was custodianship, though. It wasn't full control. Similar to the current arrangement with Jordan. Yeah, so I don't, yeah. And I think the 97% thing he's confusing with the Clinton parameters, which came after Camp David. As far as I know, and with more land swaps, 1 to 3% rather than 1 to 9 or whatever, following the suspension of Camp David. Yeah. Yeah. This is after Camp David, it was December. So, yeah. The guy's confused two things. Okay, wow.
Don't know the history. Read a book. In fact, read a Wikipedia article before you get on TV. Number two, you know, you made a very good point before, Piers, that Winston Churchill is the greatest British statesman and hero of the 20th century. Let's remember, when Churchill was faced with a genocidal threat of the Nazis, you know what he did, which Israel would never consider doing? He laid waste to 70% of Dresden, Essen, Cologne, Berlin. He eviscerated Germany and turned it into a parking lot, murdering about 6 million German civilians. Israel has never even considered doing 1,000th of that. And FDR acquiesced to it, and he's considered our greatest president of the 20th century. And then Harry Truman dropped 2 atomic bombs on Nagasaki, Hiroshima. So and Israel has nuclear weapons, has never considered doing that. Israel opened a humanitarian
okay, let me come at you, Rabbi.
Yom Kippur, they were quite, wasn't that when Moshe Dayan was running around screaming about like the fall of the third temple and shit? So Israel has been a little bit jittery with their nukes. Not against Gaza. Yeah, not against Gaza, as far as we know.
I have one question.
I want to come back to you on 2 points.
Simple question. Cenk.
I want to ask you a question, Rabbi.
Of course they can't nuke Gaza. It's like a kilometer away from fucking like kibbutz villages. Bro, like what?
Churchill a war criminal on this show today. Will you call Churchill a war criminal?
All right, Cenk, answer that question.
Okay, so Rabbi Shmuley, if you're actually a rabbi, why
would you say that?
The standards of history have changed. So the Mongols went into Baghdad and killed every man, woman, and child, killed 800,000 people, the largest city in the world. Now, we don't live by those standards anymore. And right now, if a modern British prime minister or American president advocated for dropping a nuclear bomb in Japan or killing 70% of the people that live in Dresden, you're damn right I'd call him a war.
70%? There's like 25,000 people died, but there are only like, what, 30 or 40,000 people living in Dresden? Where's he getting that stat from? The Dresden population in 1939 was 642,000. Is he using the Nazi stats? He's using the Nazi stats. That's what the rabbi said. So the rabbi used the Nazi stats. He's using the Goebbels numbers. Wait, let's go back. I missed it.
Criminal.
No, I want to come.
Israel opened up humanitarian. Israel has nuclear weapons, has atomic. He's considered our of that. German civilians. Israel lot Nazis. You know what he did, which Israel would never consider doing? He laid waste to 70% of Dresden, Essen, Cologne.
70% of what? Like the buildings? Where's that percentage coming from? I look for 70 on the wiki. 30% of the buildings? Maybe. 23% of the industrial buildings and 56% of the non-industrial buildings have been seriously damaged. So not 70%. Huh. Bombing of Dresden. Death toll. Goebbels. What did Goebbels say?
Remember the Holodomor?
Thanks, Nellis D. Really appreciate that. What did the Nazis say the death toll was? Numbers killed in the attacks have fluctuated between 35,000 and 500,000. Wait. So, what was the population of Dresden? $642,000. Okay. I guess he's hovering around the Nazi numbers. Okay. Golly.
Berlin. He eviscerated Germany and turned it into a parking lot, murdering about 6 million German civilians. Israel has never even considered doing 1,000th of that. And FDR acquiesced to it, and he's
Number of German civilians killed in World War II. I thought it was between 1.5 and 3 million. That's why, yeah. It's around 6 million. Why? He's not using Nazi numbers twice. I've never heard of this.
considered our greatest president of the 20th century. And then Harry Truman dropped 2 atomic bombs on the...
I can't believe he said the Nazis have a point. If you add soldiers who are not... No, whoa. I thought the German soldier death count was fucking enormous in World War II. Yeah, 5.5 million. Oh, okay. Is he meaning military? Okay.
Nagasaki, Hiroshima. So and Israel...
Do you count the Jews the Nazis killed as German civilian deaths? Well, most of the Jews that the Nazis killed, like, were not German Jews. They were Eastern European Jews, right? Actually, how many German Jews were killed in the Holocaust? I never actually knew that. What percentage of them were? Maybe it was more than I thought. Only 500,000 lived in Germany in 1933. So there were 200,000. Yeah, it was mostly Eastern European Jews, right? Yeah, European Jews, not German Jews that died in the Holocaust. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Damn. Thought I accidentally did some Holocaust denial there. Woo! Never happened. Not this guy. We've gone this far without denying any well-documented genocides. We'll keep going. We'll keep chugging along. Yeah, it was like millions of a lot of Polish Jews, yeah. Bulgarian, Lithuanian, fucking all that shit, yeah.
Has nuclear weapons, has never considered doing that. Israel opened up
they've actually,
humanitarian
let me come at you,
begging
Rabbi,
the government. So I have one question.
I want to come back to you on 2 points.
Simple question.
It's incredible how much Pepe we've got from this insane fucking debate, right? We've got Cenk, the ex-Armenian Genocide denier. We got both of them agreeing to the fact that to the Dresden bombings killing 70% of the population. Wow. What else? Almost a bit Pepe with the, I guess, confusing the German civilian body count with the soldier body count.
Cenk,
No, I want to ask you a question, Rabbi.
Call Winston Churchill a war criminal on this show today. Will you call Churchill a war criminal?
All right, Cenk, answer that question.
Let's go.
So, Rabbi Shmuley, if you're actually a rabbi, what the standards of history have changed. So the Mongols went into Baghdad and killed every man, woman, and child, killed 800,000 people, the largest city in the world. Now, we don't live by those standards anymore. And right now, if a modern British prime minister or American president advocated for dropping a nuclear bomb in Japan or killing 70% of the people that live in Dresden, you're damn right I'd call him a war criminal. It's a different situation today than it was in the past. And so what you're saying is, hey, we only murdered 10,000 civilians, and wantonly and recklessly, and we only did a partial genocide, so we're not as guilty. I'm not buying it at all.
Rabbi Shmuley, I want to ask you a question. Okay, hang on, Rabbi, I want to ask you a question, which is this, which is the unique scenario in Gaza, is that nearly half of the civilian population are children. They have nothing to do with this. They're not politicians, they're not in Hamas, they're not terrorists, they're not military, they're kids. And they are in their thousands being killed here. And I ask you really, is there any limit, you as a rabbi, of the number of children who need to be killed to get rid of Hamas here, or is there no limit?
Of course there's a limit. We mourn the death of every Arab, Muslim, Palestinian child as if a Jewish child died. They are absolutely equal before God. That's why Israel withdrew completely and utterly in 2005, something that Cenk will not even acknowledge. There isn't one Israeli soldier, there wasn't until this new invasion, because of the attack on Sderot. I went to those places, Piers. I was there 2 weeks ago. I saw the blood caked on the walls, congealed to 3 or 4 inches. I saw the knives that were used to murder entire families. We saw the place where Thai, not Jewish, Thai farm workers who were growing pumpkins were beheaded. We saw the body of Shani Luke, and I spoke to her mother, Ricarda, who was taken naked. These are religious men in Hamas, taken naked in her underwear and her bra, her dead body, these necrophilia savages. We saw all that. How many...
Jesus. These debate necrophiles. Oh, no. Whoa. Puerto Rico vegan musician socialist lies. Bro, are people still huffing the propaganda about October 7th? Are people still huffing the lies shit? Like, we've seen, I feel like they've invited journalists from around it's basically like the Holocaust response, right? They've invited journalists from all over the world to come and see this footage and to see this evidence, to verify it. Because they know people won't believe them, and it's still happening. But it's coming from leftists. It's leftists who are like, nah. Hamas would never do that. Nah. Like, what the fuck?
How many Palestinian children need to die? God forbid, not one. All Hamas needs to do is let the civilian population go south. Stop using them as human shields. Hamas.
Which one did he say that wasn't true? The beheading of the Thai worker, like with the shovel. That's real. I watched that. Like, trying to do it with a shovel. The blood caking on the walls. Yeah, I saw that. Dragging the. Okay, maybe they didn't rape the girl who was like had her fucking skirt up in the back of the truck. Maybe they just did that because, like, you know. Which one of those was a lie? Okay.
Wants these Palestinian children to die. Every Palestinian child to Hamas is a bulletproof vest.
But you said
they exist for no other reason than to humiliate Israel.
Okay.
Let them go south and be safe.
Okay.
But Hamas wants them.
There were no rapes reported. Are you kidding me? Are people not? Have you not read heard the fucking people doing the autopsies saying that there's like evidence on multiple women that they've been raped? Are you guys just not following? Do you guys just read everything and like on fucking day one before the fucking bodies were put into the fucking morgue and you're just like, oh right, yeah, done. That's all the research done because we just spent the rest of the fucking last 2 months or last month saying genocide about Gaza. Show me the rapes. What do you want me to show you? Do you want me to show you rape pornography on the fucking internet? What the fuck are you talking about? Here, no, you tell me. You tell me what kind of a threshold you would need to see for evidence of rapes. Do you think all those women like had their fucking bodies like with their fucking dresses lifted up. Do you think, and like no underwear, do you think that was just like, they just felt like leaving people like that for the laugh of it, or what? Oh, thanks for the raid, No Justice. Chud will, oh yeah, have you not seen the Chud Logic review? Is that why? Where are people getting this evidence from? It's been a while since I grabbed up these sources. I thought we were kind of settled on October 7th. Now it's just... So this is from Reuters. I don't know if we don't trust Reuters anymore. Military forensics teams in Israel have examined bodies of victims of last week's Hamas attack on communities around the Gaza Strip and found multiple signs of torture, rape, and other atrocities, officers said on Saturday. It's like they invited like over 100 journalists to look at this footage and to see the... What?
Remember the Holodomor?
Is this a recent article? This is from October 14th. Wow. Wow. I don't know, maybe they just stripped the woman for like, to be like, oh, you're a degenerate. Ooh. Maybe they just did that.
But Rabbi Shmuley,
it's Hamas's fault, it's Hamas's fault, it's Hamas's fault.
Rabbi Shmuley, you did say there is a limit. What is that limit?
Piers, it's hard.
Were there any twit-longers about the rapes? I mean, that's usually the standard of evidence, isn't it? Believe all women unless they say, unless someone says Hamas did it. Fuck me, bro. Eesh. They were already stripped. They were at a I'm sorry, Mohammed Rahif, you fucking disgusting, degenerate cunt piece of shit. Do you want to show me pictures of women who had their fucking skirts lifted up, lying down on the floor at a rave? Listen to yourself. What a fucking unbelievably radioactively retarded thing to say. Fuck off. Jesus Christ. There's the threshold. There we go. Fuck me.
Hard to put a number on how many people Hamas is prepared to allow to die.
I love it because I'll bet you anything that guy like identifies as a fucking communist and actually like soys the fuck out about women's rights like until Hamas does something bad to women, and then it's like, oh no, that's just Western women. They always have their skirts up and they're no fucking underwear. Yeah, that's what they all do. Jesus Christ.
In order to destroy the state of Israel. Remember, Hamas's motto is from the sea. From sea to sea, Israel will be, Palestine will be free. It's the annihilation of every Jew. Iran calls for it openly, a second Holocaust. This is the eve of Kristallnacht. I don't want to put a number on how many Palestinian children. I want a ceasefire right now. Hamas must surrender unconditionally, just like FDR and just like Churchill demanded of the Nazis, unconditional surrender, release the hostages. We get a ceasefire right now. Cenk, let me ask you to call for a ceasefire by having Hamas, who you think actually cares about the Palestinian population, to announce their surrender. Call for their surrender right now. They launched this attack unprovoked against Israel. They slaughtered 1,400 people. They are holding little babies whose...
I'm verifying Hamas statements by Jewish historians like Ilan Pape and Norman Finkelstein, actual historians. Okay, there we go. Yeah, nice one.
Diapers need to be changed as hostages. Call for them to surrender unconditionally.
All right, Cenk, final word to you.
Can we...
Okay. So, look, all this is nonsense. First of all, Israel did not withdraw. They control the borders of Gaza 100%. And as you can tell now, they cut off the water and power anytime they want. The Jewish people have been oppressed throughout history. My heart goes out to the Jewish people.
You know, it makes me wonder because I feel like I don't know about Finkelstein because he he was soying out and like support of the Hamas attack on October 7th, comparing it to the Warsaw Ghetto uprising. But I don't think Ilan Pape has ever said anything that would be like a championing of Hamas. usually when he like he advocates for this whole like reconciliatory one-state solution, whatever the fuck. But I don't know. I wonder if they knew the kind of like followers that they cultivate. Shit. Finkelstein was 100% correct, bro. What? Comparing it to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising? That's because you don't know anything about the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. You don't know anything about Hamas. You don't know anything about Gaza. That's why you think that. You think that because you don't know anything about any of the things you're talking about. I didn't realize that those people at that festival were like SS officers, and like any minute they were just going to go into Gaza and seize a bunch of fucking people and drag them to a fucking extermination camp. I didn't realize they were going to do that. Whoops, missed that one. That's what they were preparing for. That's what the dance was. It was a seance. It was a pre-death camp deportation ritual.
For all the pain and the suffering that they have endured through all of these years. But now Israel, unfortunately, is not the oppressed. It is the oppressor. Look at them dropping 7,000 bombs on grandmothers and children. There's an American nurse that explained on CNN yesterday about how she sees little kids with burns all across their bodies. So Hamas is terrible. Yes, I can call for their surrender. That's easy. I don't like Hamas. I think Hamas is Muslim fundamentalist. But it's an impossible standard, and you know they're not going to meet that standard. And because you want to keep killing those civilians to show them how mighty you are and what a great oppressor you are. I'm sick of it. And it's not...
He's almost onto something there. You can absolutely point out that Israel's strategy is very much like, oh no, these people, they all hate us. We just need to be really strong. And like, that's why they always go fucking overboard with their attacks. Like, yeah, because you can apply that criticism, but I don't really know if that's what he was going for. But yeah, that's been Israel's fucking stance in one way or the other since fucking, I don't know, like 1948. Yeah.
Only ruining the Palestinians and causing their deaths, but it is ruining. It is called.
Palestinians are always under violence, systemic oppression, poverty, bombings, etc. I didn't know that. I had no idea. I didn't know that. Wow. So you admit that? I don't think you know what I just said. If I'm not conceding to what you think. You think they're like a genocidal fucking Nazi organization. That is different from feeling threatened by Middle Eastern countries around you and like Iran and shit, and then feeling like the only way that you'll survive as a nation is to be like reckless and to be overreactive and to fuck shit up to assert your presence in the Middle East. That's why Six-Day War, Israel took the Sinai Peninsula because they knew that they could use it as a bargaining chip to get peace with the Egyptians, like that kind of shit. And that with fucking Lebanon, with the Hezbollah village, that they will just like take out way more targets than they need to as a way of like not allowing them to assemble anything in the future, or as a way of like almost terrorizing the opponent to start like to back off. That's different. That's not the same as what you're claiming. And I'll bet you're the kind of person that if anyone ever compared Soviet crimes to Nazi crimes, you would fucking scream. You'd be digging up all the fucking context and the nuance. We're like, oh, well, actually, really, you compare the hunger plan to the Soviets. I know that they didn't necessarily liberate Eastern Europe, but they definitely rescued them from a far worse. You'd probably say something like that. But I guess you just don't do that when it comes to Israel for some reason. It's so weird. It's so stupid.
It is causing the moral decay of Israel.
And it's transparent. It's so good that people like you have just completely fucking ruined yourselves in the in the eyes of public opinion, just so you can support a fucking like terror group. But yeah, nice one.
Blood libel. This is a blood libel against the Jewish people. You may as well just say that we drink the blood of Christian children in our mouths. Cenk, you are guilty of a blood libel on the eve of Kristallnacht. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I'm going to call.
It is a blood libel. Change the name of your show away from Young Turks who are genocidaires who killed 1 million Armenians.
I'm going to try and wrestle things back to the host here and call a ceasefire for now.
See, this is the thing, is like you're so emotional. You don't even know what I said. No, we can say, oh, you think Soviets, Nazis and Israelis are equally bad. Oh yeah, so you're just like you're sort of like one of those more kind of okay, I got you. You defend Israel at every last end, but less than destiny. I don't defend Israel. I just correct people who say wrong things. it's not easy being in a position where I feel like I criticize Israel quite a lot. Like most of my content about Israel is critical of Israel and supportive of Palestinian rights. I've never stopped supporting Palestinians' right to self-determination. I've never stopped thinking the settlements need to end. I've never stopped thinking the blockade of Gaza and all that shit needs to end. I've never stopped thinking any of that shit. But the problem is that you guys come in and you describe Gaza as a fucking death camp, and then I'm like, well, it's not really a death. Oh my God, you must be defending Israel. Like, yeah, I defend Israel against fucking the retarded fucking fake bullshit that you guys come out with.
It's been a fascinating debate, very passionate on both sides. I get that. I appreciate you both agreeing to debate each other. I think that's important in this situation. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Remember the Holodomor?
Yeah,
If Clee, thanks for this up.
This guy's ruining. There's tremendous anti-Semitism in the world. By crying wolf, he's actually
From
hurting
people
the
like
Jewish
you.
cause
From people like you. From
tremendously.
people like you.
Okay, you're
From
a
people like
bigot.
you.
Stop killing Palestinians, you bigot.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much.
That was a good debate. That fucking rabbi was wild. That rabbi was a giga. Debate horse fucker. I don't know what to. I just can't stop liking Cenk. I can't stop. His energy is incredible. We need more people like him. I'll bet he just strolled out of that conversation. He was just fine. He probably just played with his cat and like ate some falafel. Yeah, did some bench presses. Didn't he say he benches like? He said he said his bench was really high, didn't he? Like 250, yeah, pounds. So what's that in kilos? That's high. He's a fucking block. An immovable block.